All right, everyone. Hello, and welcome back to the channel. All right, now, so as you read in the title, Reyes cuffed up and detained again. Okay, I wish it was a lot more than just detained. I wish it was arrested and put away for another 12 hours or more. Okay, but again, I found a few things in this video interesting that I truly want you guys to pay attention, because in my opinion, Reyes did a lot of double talking here. Okay, I will admit that Reyes admitted that he was wrong, that he didn't see the signage that stated the area he was walking in was restricted. Okay, because as we all know, Reyes, as well as every other damn frauditor, they feel because a location is considered public that they can go wherever the hell they want to go. Okay, and there was a question asked by the individual officer who detained him or whatever. At a certain point, when you walked into that restricted area, did you notice that there's certain areas there that you could tell that wasn't publicly accessible, that it wasn't meant for the public to walk into? And the only thing that Reyes could say was, well, because it's a government location, I feel that I'm allowed to go wherever I want to go. Hey, I tell you, a lot of these frauditors, for some reason, they got it in their head that because it's a public location, I think common sense has to come into play. Just because the location is public, okay, we all know limited form, but I don't want to get into that right now. What I want to get into, common sense will tell you certain areas there, you could tell it's not meant for the general public to be in, okay? And Reyes, he has it in his head because it's a public location. It has to be, if you don't want the public to go into that location, screw common sense, it has to be written restricted area and so on. Okay, and that's why I get with that little technicality as well, where if you want people to relate to freedom of the press, states that everybody with a cell phone is a journalist. Well, shit, that has to be written for me to swallow it. It truly has to be written somewhere in the Bill of Rights or in the Constitution that freedom of press states that everybody with a cell phone is a journalist. They want us to use common sense. Okay, but when we want them to use common sense, normal things, okay, they don't want to use it. So it's like a stairway or the highway attitude. So again, pay attention to what comes out of his mouth. Once he gets detained, he does a lot of double talking. Let's get into the video.
Hey, what's up guys? Long Island Audit here, back again with another video. Today we're at the Pearl River County Correctional Facility here in the state of Mississippi. We are here today, as always, to peacefully exercise our First Amendment right to film in public and publicly accessible areas, to promote transparency and accountability within our government, and to ensure that our public servants recognize our rights and treat us with respect. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so let's take a look around the facility here. The Pearl River County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff David Allison. So as you would expect for a correctional facility, there are lots and lots of friendly reminders that the government is always watching and recording us every time we are in public. But it always seems to be an issue when we record them.
Alright, so I'm sure we're all fully aware of his stupid motto, phrase, whatever the hell you want to call it, about the government likes to watch us, but it seems to be a problem when we watch the government. Well, as usual, him spewing that BS out to his subscribers, well, he neglected to see the signage here stating that if he continues to walk the direction that he's walking, he will soon be in a restricted area, and that's gonna bite him in his ass. Good for his ass, damn it.
Let's hope that's not the case here today. Reserved for Sheriff, Chief Deputy, Patrol Commander, Chief Investigator. He's the only one that seems to be inside. Again, we want to be on the lookout for any restricted area signs or no trespassing signs, because our goal is to never break the law. This is not our intention whatsoever.
Alright, just want you to pay attention to everything that comes out of his mouth, because he passed that point a while ago. He's in a restricted area, and when he gets cuffed up, he has to swallow all this BS that he spewed out. So just pay attention to everything that he states from here on.
We have a Sally port here. Our goal is to peacefully exercise our First Amendment right. That's why we say that every single time in the beginning of the video. It's important to remember that. So we have corrections transport vehicles over here. We have a trailer over here. Doesn't look like it's being currently used. Hey, how are you? Excuse me?
Who are you with?
Oh, I'm not with anybody. I'm by myself.
What are you doing over here?
Can I get your name and badge number, please?
Lieutenant Smith, PR 19. This is a restricted area. You can't be back here.
How is this a restricted area?
There's a sign right there on that parking lot that says anything beyond that point's a restricted area.
Can you show it to me? I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Come show it to
You
me.
have any form of ID on you?
Well, let me see the sign first.
You got
Because
any
there
weapons
wasn't
on
any
you?
signs.
Right now you're in a restricted area. You ain't
There's no
supposed to be here.
sign.
Yes, there is a sign.
There is no sign. It's all on camera. There's
Do
no
me a
sign.
favor. Step over to this car for me.
Step over to the car?
Yes.
For
step
what?
Over to the car. 19 Central.
Am I being detained?
Right now you are.
For what purpose? What law?
over to
For
the
what
car.
law? What law did I break, Lieutenant?
Step over to the car.
What law did I break, Lieutenant?
19 Central. I'll be back
I'm
behind
gonna keep
the
my
jail
hands
aisle in a
visible for
white
you because
male,
you look like
black
you're
shirt,
ready
black shorts. Walking
to
around
do
with a
something
cell
real
phone.
stupid. So
Step
what?
over
Can you
to
tell
the
me
car.
what law? Can you articulate what law?
You're in a restricted area on a correctional facility.
That's not a breaking a law. This is not a restricted area, sir.
Yes, you're trespassing.
So there's no
Criminal
sign.
trespassing.
You have to
Step
know.
over to the car.
You have to know.
Step over
Calm
to the
down.
car.
Calm down, Lieutenant.
Step over to the car.
Calm down,
please.
Lieutenant.
Step over to
Let's
the car. place your
de-escalate a little
hands-
bit.
Place
Let's
your hands on the
de-escalate.
hood.
What?
Place
What are you
your
gonna
hands
search
on the
me?
hood. I
What?
don't know who you are.
You can't
until I
search me.
figure- I'm not
I don't
trying to search
consent.
you.
I don't consent to
Put
searches
your
or
hands on
seizures.
the hood of the car.
But for what?
Put your hands on the hood of the car.
I'm not a threat to you. I'm an independent journalist. My name is Sean.
Okay,
I'm here
you're
working
in a
on a
restricted
story.
area until I figure out who you are. Right now, you're being detained. Until I figure out who you are, you're being detained.
So you're gonna put my I'm not doing anything. I'm trying to give you my other hand. So relax. I'm trying to give you my other hand because you're obviously scared of a man with a camera. I don't understand what's the big
No,
deal.
You're not doing what I asked you to do, so you're being detained.
What would you want me to do? I'm not breaking any laws. There is no sign. Go get me your supervisor, Lieutenant, please. This is ridiculous. Go get me your supervisor, please, Lieutenant.
You have any form of state ID or driver's license?
Sir, I don't consent to any searches or seizures. I haven't broken any laws. I'm engaged in a constitutionally protected activity. I'm talking to you. I'm in handcuffs. Why are you still scared of me, grabbing onto me, shaking? Come
Spread
on.
your feet for me.
I don't consent to searches or seizures, sir.
Spread your feet for me.
Why are you so scared for it? I don't have any weapons. That's obviously not a
Do you
weapon.
have an ID in your wallet?
Don't grab anything in my wallet. I don't consent to any searches or seizures, please. I don't. You're violating my
19
constitutional rights right now.
I'm 10-2. I've got one detained.
There's no reason for you to be treating me this way. You guys don't learn de-escalation here in the sheriff's office? Look, I have no weapons. I'm not breaking any laws. This is not a restricted area. There is no signage.
You have any form of state
This
ID?
is
or driver's
unlawful
license?
detainment. You have me
Let me
handcuffed.
ask you this: which way did you come in?
I came in right through the right through that way.
Okay, let's walk back and go look.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Can you not touch my phone?
I'm just gonna bring it with us.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna turn
Thank
it off.
You.
You good?
Okay, cool.
You good?
Can we walk exactly where I came in? So I can show you, because I would never break the law. If I saw a restricted area sign, I would never do that.
Okay.
Follow this road exactly straight from the public sidewalk right there. No
Sidewalk itself?
That sidewalk.
Okay.
Yeah, that sidewalk. There's no need for any of this. Why would I put my hands on a vehicle when I'm telling you I don't have
You're in a restricted area.
But I'm
Sign
not.
because you walked past the sign. You
No,
didn't
there
see it?
isn't. There's no sign. There's no sign. This is why I record. It's very important.
Okay.
This is exactly why I record. There is no sign.
Well, it's been sitting on our cameras all the time. It's in a big pile. It's a tire with a big chunk of concrete in it. Sitting in the parking lot.
Where? In the public parking
In the
lot?
public parking lot right here. You must have went right by and didn't see it. coming.
This is a public parking lot.
Keep coming. 10-2. Walk right over here for me.
Watch your step.
Read that sign for me.
All right, well, I walked up to the park. I walked on the sidewalk. I walked on the sidewalk. I would never pass a restricted area sign.
But everything back here is restricted.
Well, it wasn't intentional. I didn't see it. I walked on the sidewalk.
Come on, let's talk. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Gentlemen, he's got all day, okay?
Yep.
Okay.
You got your card. I need mine.
All right, now, so I'm asking you guys to pay attention to what comes out of Reyes' mouth, because I honestly feel that he did a lot of double talking here. So let's pay attention to everything that comes out of his mouth, and you'll see what I mean.
Now, you
I
good?
appreciate it now. I wish we had that earlier. We can step right
That
here.
I saw.
Step in there.
You all right if he's in the front?
That's fine. Yeah, you put it in front. Matter of fact, you can take them off if you want to.
All right, good.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Could be better. I wish I would have saw your sign. I wish I would have saw it. It's more in the parking lot where people are driving. I wasn't. That's the thing. I'm not driving. I'm on the sidewalk.
It's there. It's been there. We keep that there all the time.
All right, you can take a seat.
Are you supervisor, sir?
I am.
Can I? What's your name? My name is Sean.
My name is Rob Williams.
Rob Williams.
Yeah.
My name is Sean, sir.
Okay.
I was an independent journalist. I'm working on a story here in the at the correctional facility here, and I didn't see any restricted area signs. That's all.
Okay.
That's really it. Okay. And I could even show you the video. You wouldn't see it on video either because I walked right on the sidewalk, and you wasn't even thinking about looking that way.
Yeah, but it is. Everything's back there restricted. And we don't mind you going back there. You can do what you want to, but just you got to have an escort.
Yeah.
Once
I would
you
agree.
past that point.
Yeah. I was just looking. I thought it was interesting because I saw a bunch of.
The issues is we've got a trustee dorm back there, and if people are allowed to walk around there, they can sneak in contraband and.
Gotcha. I could understand that.
That's
No,
all
I could understand that 100%. That's not my intention. I saw the vehicles back there, and I wanted to take some pictures of them.
Ooh, there's not much back there.
Yeah. No, I went all the way back there. I was like, yeah, there's nothing else, and I was actually on my way back when this lieutenant here approached me. But yeah. So, sorry about that. I didn't mean to go across the restricted area signs. I even say it while I'm documenting because I want to make sure that I'm not breaking any laws. I don't want to go into any restricted area signs. Again, the sidewalk, it was very misleading because I'm a pedestrian, so I'm walking on the sidewalk. And there's nothing there. There's nothing there. It's only like if you're driving, so it would make it seem more like, don't drive past this point, right?
Yeah. Well, we're working on right now, actually trying to get a fence put across.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's our biggest thing is we have more problems with contraband. If people get around there and not being secured, and the trustees have access to walk back and forth, and if somebody like you was to walk by there or somebody else and just throw some contraband down, as they walk through, they pick it up, and that's how it gets in the back. So
gotcha.
We try to keep them separated as much as we can, just to keep the safety measures for everybody here.
Okay, I gotcha. So if anything you need from me, I tell you, my name is Sean. I'm an independent journalist. I travel the country and just check in on different correctional facilities, law enforcement agencies, government agencies, and just work on stories for those purposes, for government transparency and accountability.
Okay.
And again, that was my purpose here.
Okay.
You understand the importance of being on law enforcement property. If you're confronted by law enforcement, if they request you to do something that isn't illegal, immoral, or in putting you in harm of physical injury or death, it's best to comply.
Well, I would only say
when I requested your identification to figure out who you are, who you with, what you're doing here, you continue to kind of go back and forth, and we kind of got stagnant there for a second. When we got to that point, where you weren't following my lawful orders when I asked you to place your hands on the hood until we can get some kind of controlled position and we can get things figured out. That's where things began to escalate. That's when we had to take a step up, and I had to formally detain you in handcuffs. Because I didn't know who
I would
you
just
were.
say, Lieutenant,
I didn't know what your intentions were on the property. See, is it understandable?
well, you didn't ask me for my intentions. You asked me for my identification, which I would argue my identification doesn't tell you my intentions. And that's what, I think asking for my identification as soon as coming in contact with me, I think that escalates the situation, because you could have just said, hey, what are you doing here? Hi, how are you? What are you doing here? And I would have explained to you, just like explained to the supervisor here, exactly what I was doing here. And yes, you said I was in a restricted area, and now that I see that sign in the parking lot, not nowhere near where I could see it, but now that I saw the sign, I can understand why you said it was a restricted area. But at the same time, I don't know that it's a restricted area. You're a law enforcement officer. My job as a citizen is to stand up for my rights. So you're telling me you're giving me lawful orders. I don't know that you're giving me lawful orders. I don't hand over identification unless, when you asked me for identification, what did I say? I said, do you suspect me of committing a crime? Right? Because my job as an independent journalist and an activist for transparency and accountability in government is to stand up for those rights, the same rights that you took an oath to uphold. So there's been many, many times, sir. Unfortunately, this is unfortunately
mishandled the wrong way.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's been many times where I haven't been in a restricted area, and law enforcement officers such as yourself think that I'm in a restricted area or think that I'm on government property.
No, and
that's not public property.
You can come through the front of our facility, our lobby.
But that's why I just wanted to explain to Lieutenant. That's why I responded the way I did, is because it's not necessarily about you. It's just about in general. Normally people, hey, let me get your ID. And I never understood that. It's like, what is my ID going to tell you about what I'm doing here? Or what is that? How does that help you in any way in conducting an investigation? And I don't give up my ID because that would be a Fourth Amendment violation unless I'm suspected of committing a crime.
Sorry, that's me.
Unless I'm suspected of committing a crime. So that's what I'm saying. I even told you, let's de-escalate a little bit. How am I in a restricted area? There's no signs. I even told you, what did I tell you, Lieutenant? I said, hey, you said there is a sign. I said, okay, let's go walk over and look at it. And you said, no, put your hands on the hood. Like, we could have just walked over together and I saw the sign.
Let's if you want to start speaking in hypotheticals, let's go down that road. So you don't identify yourself. You pull a gun, shoot me, and I have no way of relaying any of that information to my central dispatch or to my partners who were trying to figure out what was going on. You conduct yourself on the property however you see fit, whether it could be something as simple as the trespassing, which I explained to you, which what was occurring, or something much, much worse, right? So that's why we tend to try and identify the party involved, who we're dealing with, so my people know who I'm talking to.
I'm not saying you're not trained to ask for ID in every scenario. I'm just saying if you look at the totality of the circumstances, and what's
you were in
going on,
violation of trespassing in a restricted area.
I understand that that sign was nowhere near.
I identified you as a suspect, and you had to be identified formally.
But in order, just to be fair, if we want to get technical with laws and statutes, criminal trespassing in Mississippi, I had to have been cognizant of the fact that I was trespassing in order to be breaking that statute. Once you relayed to the fact that I was indeed trespassing, I informed you, let's go look at the sign. So that would mean that I was willing to leave. So I was in fact in violation of no statutes today, because I had to have seen the sign.
Once you traveled past this corner of the government building and continued on up the hill towards all that, would a reasonable person believe that is a public roadway or a public right-of-way to freely travel?
Well, no, it's not a public right-of-way, but what I assumed is that it's government property, it's public property, and that's what I'm saying is that I've been...
or government property?
Well, public property is government property. It's the same thing. Who owns, and this is why I didn't want to identify myself or comply with your lawful orders.
Government property?
Not unless they're breaking the law or if they're in a restricted area. And like I said, the statute's clear, sir. I had to have known, and I honestly didn't know. If you looked at the video footage, you wouldn't have seen that sign.
Which
you put it in the middle.
Are you referring to
the criminal trespassing statute of Mississippi? For the sign, there's multiple. There's ones for signage. There's ones for verbal orders given under certain
Have you ever read the
circumstances.
statute called trespass of real estate property?
Trespass of real estate property, no.
Okay, look that one up.
Trespass of real estate property?
Yep.
Hold
Let
on.
me see if I can find it. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's just it's a product of what I do for a living. As far as I work with law enforcement officers. I've done trainings at law enforcement officers departments. I'm looking to do another one. I've been reached out to by a department in New Jersey. I'm from New York. I'm from Long Island, and it's a product of my job. Unfortunately, is that normally I'm given a lot of unlawful orders, and things get escalated, and that's why I'm hesitant. And my job is to show people that, unless you're breaking the law, you don't have to give over your identification. You don't have to put your hands behind your back. You can't be unlawfully detained. Yeah, see, this is remaining. See, I think I have it here. Mississippi Title 97, crimes against property, trespass going on to or remaining in upon buildings, premises, lands forbidden of another after being forbidden to do so. So yeah, I never saw that one about real estate property. I look up the laws everywhere I go. I'm very familiar, and I didn't see that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
So again, it's not my At the same time, do I understand the lieutenant's position? Is that he doesn't know if I saw the sign or not at the time. I understand his position that I technically was, but I technically wasn't. I think, just honestly, Lieutenant, I think that there was a better way to handle it. Just let's go walk over. How many people do you know that's going to want to do you harm while they're recording?
Another way you can look at it too, if you go down and take this to court as a judge and say that you walked within 10 feet of the sign, and we've actually got video of you walking all over the place, they were watching you walk.
Yeah.
So.
Well, why wouldn't if you saw me walk past the sign? Why wouldn't you get me really quick?
They didn't come get when I walked out here. They had just been notified that you were back there by the shop.
But like I said, I could show you the video.
Well, we've got on top of that, we've got a lot of tools and stuff out there.
Oh, I understand, but like I said, I could show you the video, and I can guarantee you that the video doesn't show that sign because it's in the middle of the road. It's in the middle of the road where cars pass. I'm not where I'm walking. Again, I don't think that it's. I didn't see it, so in my opinion, I didn't break the law. And I was willing once he told me, hey, this is a restricted area. There's a sign. I was like, well, show me where the sign is. I'm willing to leave the restricted area if it is. That's not my goal. It's my intention. I never. That's not what I set out to do. I'm here to bring law enforcement and the public together, not try and separate them. That's my goal.
All right, so let me pause the video here where I think it's safe to say that Reyes is full of shit. That he's trying to bring the people and the police together, really? With what he's been doing recently and lately? All he's been doing is bad-mouthing law enforcement, making them look like as if they're violating people's rights and all other kind of BS. I mean, come on now. I was shocked when that came out of his mouth. I mean, I understand right now he's double-talking his ass off right now. He just got proven wrong that he was in a restricted area. He, believe it or not, is shitting in his pants. I've seen other frauditors get arrested for what he is now cuffed up and detained for. Okay, Rogue Nation is proof of that. J-Town pressing that other knucklehead, I can't remember his name at this moment, but they are proof that they restricted area they've been arrested for. So he's shitting in his pants, okay, because he still has that case open in New York, okay? But yeah, as we all know, unfortunately, our law enforcement officers are people with authority or whatever. They try to give the benefit of the doubt to those knuckleheads, not realizing, I don't think these guys really know who the hell this guy is, but they give him a break. They cut him loose, and he's a real ungrateful SOB, because you'll hear what comes out of his mouth further in the video that I will point out to you.
So, but that's where we are. See if I can find this real quick.
Hey, let me call you back. Let me call you back. So yeah, I don't want to take up any more of you guys' time. Am I still being detained at this point?
As far as I'm concerned, I'd say no.
If you're good with it?
As long as you're good with it,
Because I just like want to go about my day and stay out of restricted areas.
To clarify, the general public, those who are not law enforcement or law enforcement affiliated, can't go beyond the sign in that way without some kind of law enforcement escort. Can't go behind all the fenced-in areas.
Yeah, of course.
Immediate access to the correctional facility itself.
Yeah, of course. Again, like I said, Lieutenant, I didn't see the sign. I don't think it's that apparent and obvious to see it. You know, especially the way I walked, I didn't think it's that apparent and obvious. Again, if I would have seen it, I would never would have passed it. But that's it.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Get a card? Thank you so much. I appreciate this. Thank you so much. Okay. Major, appreciate you. Lieutenant.
Yep.
This opens?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. I'm going to continue about my story. Take care.
Have a good day.
See, this is why I tell everyone. You have to make sure that you see this sign here. I totally missed this sign. I'm going to be really upset at myself how did I miss this sign? How? It doesn't make any sense. I got to go back on I saw this over here. I guess it's because I had my sunglasses on. Because there's no real, I don't see, because honestly, if I would assume that I saw the sign too. If I was, a judge deciding the case and I walked this way. I showed you guys all the signs over here. I just didn't see it. I make it very clear in all my videos, we're not trying to trespass or go into any restricted areas. I'm gonna have to rewind the clip on that, and I can't believe I didn't see it. See, you gotta be very vigilant. I say it in my video, and obviously I wasn't very vigilant today, but I appreciate the Major. His name is Major Rob Williams. Here's his card right here. I appreciate the Major for, not escalating the situation, de-escalating it. The Lieutenant, again, I think he came in and escalated the situation a little bit too much, honestly. I don't think it was proper of him to, detain me. I was in a restricted area. I just didn't know it. So I technically didn't break the law. I had to have known it. So I would like to believe that I would have been found not guilty of breaking any laws. And if you're not breaking any laws, you can't be detained. And that's my whole point. My whole point is, if I'm not breaking any laws, you can't detain me. He could have just walked back with me and showed me the sign over here, and I would have left immediately. As soon as he told me, hey, let's go look at the sign, I offered, hey, if there is a sign, show it to me. I've been lied to so many times by law enforcement, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, so I'm hoping you guys picked up on his little conversation here to his subscribers that he can't believe police because police have a tendency of lying, okay? And that's why he acts the way he acts, okay? That's why he comes off the way he comes off, let's say. And then what I found very funny about that is because here, when you don't want to give the officers the benefit of the doubt, because as we all know, in the officers' line of work, unfortunately, when they apprehend people or whatsoever, we all know it's human nature. People are gonna lie, right? So, unfortunately, police can't really, give too much of the benefit of the doubt to the individual suspect, okay? So, Reyes don't want to understand that shit, okay? Reyes will make it look like the cop just intentionally wants to, right away go aggressive or whatever. You guys, I hope you guys get what I'm getting at. It's just funny that Reyes wants to be understood that he acts the way he acts because police have a tendency of lying. But he doesn't want to give that same benefit of the doubt to the police when police approach somebody and they apprehend them. As we all know, people are gonna lie. Okay, they got caught doing something dirty, they're gonna lie. Okay, so he wants that understanding, but won't give that understanding to the police. I think I explained that right. Oh,
that I can't believe them. I want to see it. And then, he got scared thinking that I have a weapon or something, and obviously I didn't, and he wanted to detain me, put me in handcuffs, and I guess all's well that ends well. I wasn't arrested, and you know, I think he escalated. I think the lieutenant escalated the situation beyond where it needed to be. But again, I was in a restricted area. Obviously, that sign is right there. But you know, I think it's a learning lesson on my part and their part, because I have to be more vigilant for signage, and I don't think that they should escalate the situation the way that they did. Not at all. Maybe they should put up fences, you know, make it more obvious that that is a restricted area. I have no idea, honestly. So anyway,